All right, I think we're live. We're about to be live. We are live, 8 seconds in. All right, here we go. What's going on, everybody? Matthew Moniz here, and today we are doing another unboxing. Let's just give it a couple of minutes for everybody to get into the stream. I apologize for the delay. We had some technical difficulties as usual, but we're here and we're ready to do this. First things first, audio, how does it sound? One of the complaints from last week was that the audio was a little low. I think we fixed it. Let me know in the comments right now. Has it started yet? Nope, shit. You have to be like savage and just keep pushing the button. Okay, testing audio. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Audio sounds great. Robert says it's fantastic. Roderick HD says it's good. All right, we're good. All right, let's do it. Today, or last week, we unboxed the Acer Predator Helios 300. I also did a review on it, which is up on my YouTube channel, so if you're interested in checking that out, you'll find it there. But this week, I got another one in the house, in the studio, the Dell G7. This is a direct competitor to the Acer Predator Helios 300. Just like the Helios 300, this one retails for $11.99 US and has very similar specs. So a lot of you are probably asking, which one should you buy? And we're gonna go through that in this video. But first, the unboxing. So, who just watched the Brazil game? Out of curiosity, because now they're gone, which kind of sucks. Because usually I root for Brazil after Portugal loses. And France. France is killing it this tournament. Beating out Sweden. Was it Sweden? Yeah, it was Sweden. 2-0. Oh, wow. White and blue. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's about time these laptop manufacturers are pushing away from all black devices and offering different color schemes because, quite frankly, I'm sick of that black and red gaming design. It's hideous. It needs to go. It needs to stop. And you're seeing a big change this year with companies like Lenovo, Dell, completely redesigning their, or not redesigning, but giving more neutral color tones just to make it more appealing for like the average user. Like, I don't want to go to a coffee shop with a red and black laptop with like a Predator logo on it looking to kill people. I just want a simple laptop that I can game on and look normal in public. So that's good to see this kind of stuff. Should I eat this? No. Ash, you hungry? No? Okay. All right. Power connector. So this is very typical. This is a 180 watt power connector. This is a little bit bigger than the power connector on the Lenovo Y530. That one's 135. And the Acer Predator Helios is also the same size as this one. So very similar power connector sizes. So a little bit heavier than the Y530, but again, there's more expensive hardware or more powerful hardware in here, higher TDP. Therefore, you need a power adapter that's bigger. All right, quiet please, quiet. It is time to remove the plastic. That was awful. That was awful. That was not a good plastic experience. I like the plastic experiences where you have the nice, sweet sound of plastic slowly being ripped off, not in like little plastic bags that you use for the garbage dump. But nonetheless, at least it has plastic on it. All right, the Dell G7. This is Dell's revamp of their Inspiron line or Inspiron line from last year. So this year we're getting a pretty similar looking laptop. They've obviously angled out the grills on the back of the device like this. So you have a nice angled approach going across here. I'm just wiping my hands across it just so the camera goes into focus for a second. So that looks kind of nice. It has like, no, it doesn't have blue. Actually, it has blue vents inside of here. We're gonna take a look at that once I power it on, but I like that touch. It looks awesome. The grill itself kind of reminds me of a sports car. The Dell logo kind of reflects, so I don't know if you can see that in the light. Kind of a little bit of reflection there. Depending on which angle you have it in, kind of goes blue or purple, which is kind of cool. Oh yeah, so much better than the previous one. Look at that. I like it. It's clean. I love the blue accents. This is happy. This makes me happy. I don't feel like I'm going to kill somebody anymore. I feel like I can game, I can be happy, I can do some work without murdering someone. So this device, let's talk about the specs. So this is the 15-inch model, 15.6-inch model. It comes with an i7 8750H. So that's 6 cores, okay? 6 cores of powerful processing to help you stream and game at the same time. This is a big jump compared to 2017 where we're stuck with 4 cores. And on top of it, you get a GTX 1060 Max Q. So that will pretty much be in line with a graphical card, a GPU that's somewhere between a 1050 Ti and a GTX 1060. In terms of RAM, this model has 16 gigabytes. There is a NVMe M2 SSD with 128 gigabytes, and you also get a 1 terabyte hard drive. Like I said, this model retails for about $12.99 or $11.99, depending if you buy it from Dell.com or on Amazon. Also, you can upgrade this to 32 gigabytes of RAM. You can swap out the Wi-Fi card. The CPU and GPU is all soldered onto the motherboard. And just like the Acer Predator Helios 300, you have about the same amount of ports. So SD card slot, full size, thankfully. You have a USB 3.0 port, an RJ45 jack, your barrel connector, and your Noble lock. On the other side, full-size HDMI, USB Type-C, but unlike every other single budget to mid-tier gaming laptop, this one is Thunderbolt 3. So maybe 2 years down the road, you're not liking the performance of the 1060 Max Q, you can go ahead and hook it up to an eGPU and keep this thing running. You also have 2 more USB 3.0 ports, and of course, your combo audio in and mic jack. So again, only laptop at this price point, not only laptop, but only gaming laptop out of the few that I mentioned that come with Thunderbolt 3. The Lenovo Y530, the Acer Predator Helios 300 are all using just simple USB Type-C ports. All right, let's power this bad boy on.
All right, so ITS VD21 TV asks, is everything in this upgradable like the Helios 300?
Yes, so everything but the CPU and GPU is upgradable. You can swap out the hard drives as a 2.5-incher and, of course, your M2. You can swap out the RAM up to 32 gigabytes. I think you can swap out the Wi-Fi card. I haven't opened it up yet, but I'm pretty sure you can. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So everything's upgradable except for the CPU and GPU. Okay, this thing is
Cal EE says, come on, man. Dave already did one full review like weeks ago, bruv.
Well, Dave. Well, good for Dave. Okay, good for Dave. Now, I just get things later here. I'm in Canada, so I'm a little bit delayed. I think Dave gets his stuff from Dell Global, so he gets it faster than I do. Also, his channel's bigger than me, so I don't blame him for getting the stuff before I do. But sometimes it's better to wait for a fine wine than just digging into a review before it's given some time to, you know, grow into its kind of footing, you know? All right, let's power this bad boy up.
YOLO Bro says, where is it? Is it perfect for editing?
So I don't know what the display color accuracy is yet. I haven't done a calibration test. But in terms of power, it is definitely more than powerful enough to edit video, do design work, and of course game. If the display is not good enough, like if you're just gonna be using your laptop display to do design work, and I'm not sure what the sRGB rating is, I'm assuming it's at least 98% like the Predator Helios 300. If it is, then you're fine. But if it's not, again, you probably want to hook up to an external monitor or do something like that. Now,
okay, 2 things. This guy 298 says he got his Dell G7 this morning. He loves it. He got the i7 8750H 1060 Max Q, 128 gigabyte SSD, and the 1 terabyte hard drive.
That's exactly this model. The one you got this morning is the one we're looking at today. That's
so
like the
this
one most
guy,
reviewers got.
Tell us what you think about it.
Okay, well, I just turned it on, so that's good. I like that.
I was asking him him to tell us what he thinks about it.
Okay, sorry. You tell us what you think about it so far, since you've had more time than me to actually play with it.
And Tilak Kumar wants to know more about the display. Is it overclockable? Tell us about the display.
Okay, so the display is IPS. It is not. I think they're going to offer a one with 120 or 144 hertz in the future, but this one is 60 hertz. If you want a 144 hertz display, you got to look at the Acer Predator Helios 300 instead. That one has a higher refresh rate.
I'm Cortana, and I'm here to help.
Ooh, mousepad's not bad actually.
So this guy,
Shut up, Cortana.
says it's awesome. He undervolted it and overclocked the CPU, and it hasn't gone over 80 Celsius in about 4 hours of gaming.
That's awesome. And that's probably mostly because it's using a Max-Q GPU. I do find with the Predator Helios 300, it is very easy to get it quite hot. The only way to keep the temps somewhat normal on the Predator Helios 300 is to keep the fans on max, and it gets very, very loud.
Okay, so A.R wants to know that why do Canadian reviewers only give US prices for hardware? Huh?
I always give Canadian and US prices in my videos. Just saying, okay? I do both.
All right, so where is it gone? Price. Someone wants to know about the price.
1 second so you don't see my password.
What's the price of this thing?
$11.99 or $12.99 depending on what website you buy it on. The same price as the Predator.
Is that Canadian or US?
That's US. Canadian, you're probably looking at a couple mortgages, your liver, a couple of your kids down the road, and possibly your soul if you're buying it in Canada.
Lover of Tech wants to know if you could send this to him for a
yeah,
present.
sure, no problem. When we ship Ash back to the UK, we'll have him stop by your place and give it to you.
Raina's word, maybe. Does it have a fingerprint sensor?
That is a good question. I don't think it does. No, it does not. Most all gaming laptops generally don't have a fingerprint sensor.
Thundertech Media wants to know, says, you said that the SSD and the hard drive can be upgraded, but what about the RAM?
RAM can be upgraded up. RAM can be swapped out up to 32 gigabytes. This model here has 16.
How's the display?
So far, it looks pretty good. I mean, I have to do a calibration. Actually, should we do the do you guys want me to do the display calibration live right now, right here? Let me know in the comments because I will do it for you guys.
Going to be very boring.
Well, I'll just let it do its thing while we...
Brandon Yost wants to know, well, we've already established it doesn't have a fingerprint sensor, right?
No, it does not.
Does it have an IR camera?
No, it does not have...
so
actually,
no Windows Hello?
It might. I don't think it does, but it might.
We'll test it out.
We'll test it out, yeah.
So what should this compete with, says Acid Banana Fish?
So this competes exactly with the Acer Predator Helios 300 and the Asus, well, kind of the Asus GL503GE Strix. That one's slightly a little bit weaker with the 1050 Ti, but I think its direct competitor right now is the Predator Helios 300. They both have 1060s. They both price the same. They're both mid-tier. And yeah, very similar. It's just like your small little trade-offs. And we'll go over those trade-offs in this video once we go through this laptop a little bit. So I don't care if you guys see my password for this because it's 12345.
Is this keyboard backlit?
Yes. I'm going to turn it on for you right now if I can find the...
Is it RGB?
No, it's not RGB.
So just solid blue?
Yeah, solid blue. This one you get solid blue. The Lenovo Y530 you get solid white. The Acer Predator Helios 300 you get solid red.
Chance Jensen says he overclocked his display. Said he lucked out into an AUO panel.
Oh, nice. That's awesome, dude. What'd you overclock it to?
Chance, let us know what you overclocked it to.
Oh my god, I hate the setup process. Let's go Windows. Next, next, next. All right. Build quality. I mean, it's plastic. It's all plastic. Just like every other mid-tier to budget gaming laptop. The Predator Helios 300 does have a metal lid, but this one's all plastic. I mean, I don't mind it, honestly. I mean, like, this is the price point you're buying it at. It also saves on weight, especially because these laptops are generally heavy. So, for example, this one weighs 5.8 pounds. To give you guys some context, in kilograms, that's 2 point something. The Predator Helios 300 is heavier at 6.1, and the Lenovo Y530 is about 5 pounds. So, if you're thinking about taking this to class, it's a little on the heavier side. If you can handle that, that's great. If you want something a little bit lighter, then you're going to be looking at the Y530. How
does this compare to Alienware?
So Alienware is a step above in terms of build quality. So this is Dell's mid-tier gaming laptop. The Alienware would be their more premium gaming laptop, and a better comparison would be the Razer Blade from Razer, obviously, or even some of MSI's more expensive products like the GS65, for example. Which, by the way, I should be getting at some point, the GS65. I know it's already been reviewed, but even if I get it late, I still want to review it for you guys because I get a lot of questions from you asking me about the laptop and certain features. Okay, for school, which one better, Acer Helios 300 or Dell G7? Like I said, if you want something that's a little bit lighter, the Dell G7 is slightly lighter. You are sacrificing GPU performance for a Max-Q design, but you also get benefits like having Thunderbolt 3. So there's small differences. Like I said, we're gonna go over in a second. I'm just waiting for this thing to boot up.
Have you answered how's the keyboard?
Okay, so the keyboard has I don't know the exact travel distance. It's definitely less than 1.6. I would say about 1.4 to 1.5. I definitely like the keyboard better on the Y530 and the Helios 300. It has that nice rubber texture to it. It feels a lot better for gaming. This one feels like a gaming version of the Dell XPS 15, if that makes any sense to you. But it is full size. The layout is nice, so that's good. You have your numeric keypad if you need to crunch some numbers. But yeah, it's not bad. It's not my favorite, but it's not bad. Touchpad's good though. Definitely better than the Helios 300. Probably in line with the Lenovo Y530. But I like the fact that it's bigger, so you have more space to move your fingers around.
What are you doing?
Me?
Like, why is it?
It's loaded up.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I know. It's already. Fans already booting up, which is not a good sign.
Okay, so one thing you need to remember: test out the speakers. People want to know what the speakers are like.
Speaker test. Speaker test. Yes or no? In the comments.
People
Speaker
want
test.
color calibration.
Okay, so they want color calibration. Did you bring it? Awesome. Here it is. Okay, I got the color calibration tool right here. I'm gonna connect it to Wi-Fi, which it already is. I'm going to download.
So Jason says that he got his yesterday and the screen is awful. It has a yellow tint to it and seems dimmer than what he's used to.
Really? Are you sure you got the G7 or did you get last year's Dell Inspiron 15? Because those ones have terrible displays. This one looks pretty good so far. Like, I mean,
answered about the build quality?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's a plastic body. I mean, it feels pretty solid. I don't have any concerns. The hinge feels nice and stiff. I mean, there's a little bit of display flex, but I mean, even the Y530 is pretty flexible. The bezels are a little bit bigger, but at least you have the webcam on top, which is kind of nice. In terms of yellow tint, I don't see any yellow tint on this display. It has more of a cooler tone, but we're going to calibrate it right now. So let me just download the software for you guys, and then we can go ahead and calibrate it, and I'll continue answering your questions.
Would you recommend this over the Helios 300? Says James.
I think if you want something that has...
Because he says the main difference is the Max Q, which is technically underpowered over the true 1060.
So the main difference is you're getting a Max Q instead of a full-size GTX 1060. So in terms of performance, you're going to get better value from the Predator Helios 300. But you could also argue, at least based on what you guys are saying in the comments from other reviews, is that the cooling on this system seems to be better. So the Helios 300 will... what's it called? It will basically throttle when you're gaming. It'll stay at 2.2 gigahertz, which is the low end of what the CPU can do. So that's something else you have to take in consideration as well. Okay, I'm just going to download the software here.
So it seems like there's like the luck of the draw when it comes to display. So sometimes you get a source from one manufacturer compared to another, because it seems like certain people are...
If that's the case, I mean, it is possible. Some, depending on how many SKUs there is a possibility that the different manufacturers are creating different displays. I personally haven't experienced that on any of last year's model. The displays were either... Actually, to be honest, most of the gaming displays on midget to budget gaming laptops from last year were all terrible. It wasn't until the end of the year that we saw a few units get upgraded displays.
So Chance replied, he said he managed to overclock it to 100 hertz. And then Tilak is boldly shouting in all caps saying, Dave told that the display can be overclockable to 100 hertz but can void the warranty.
Okay, so that guy just voided his warranty, and he said it works. So if I was you, leave it at 60 hertz. When your warranty is over, overclock it. Might as well, right?
So Malik, we're going to tell you how bright the display is. We're just about to calibrate it.
Yeah, we're going to calibrate it first. I'm going to give you guys the sRGB and the Adobe RGB. Then I'm going to do the display analysis, and I'll tell you exactly how many nits of brightness we're getting. My guess is probably going to be around 300. That's exactly what its competition is, around 320, which is average. That's the category average. 300 is like the line where I like to go. For example, the Y530 is around 250, a little on the lower side, but if you're just gaming, it's fine. I just wouldn't do any creative work on it.
So Brandon wants to know, is there any way to tell which panel it has by the SKU number or anything? Because he has one in a box, but he's afraid to kind of take it out.
Honestly, I think there's going to be a higher refresh rate eventually, but like if you're buying this monitor, it is an IPS panel. So like.
But I think we're all referring to either like knowing that you might end up with like a panel from LG versus the AUO panel.
So what we'll have to do is we'll have to go into your display settings and see if we can find like a serial number and then compare it to another Dell computer that has the other version, and then you'd be able to base it on that, which one is the better one.
So he would have to take it out of the box.
Yeah, you'd have to take it out of the box and look at. I don't think they would have it on the box itself. You probably have to dig deep and get the actual model number in your adapter properties.
NR Nayam wants to know, for school, which one is better? The Acer Helios 300 or the Dell G7?
Okay, so this question was kind of already asked, but I'll answer it again.
Never mind.
It depends. Like, if you want a light laptop, they're both pretty heavy. This one is slightly lighter by about 200, about 0.200. So this is 5.8. The Helios 300 is 6 pounds or 6.1 pounds. This will probably give you better battery. I'm assuming this one will give you better battery life because the Max-Q GPU doesn't produce as much heat, therefore it won't draw as much power. So I'm thinking this one might have better battery life, but in terms of performance, the Predator Helios 300 might be a little bit better because it has a full-size GTX 1060.
Hytham, I think that's how you pronounce it, says the past year version of this laptop had a fingerprint sensor. So what's up this year?
Okay, let me check. Maybe it does have a fingerprint sensor.
Are you giving us incorrect information, Matthew?
I usually I've never used a budget gaming laptop or a mid gaming laptop with a fingerprint sensor, because I know there was 2 SKUs of the Dell Inspiron 7000 that came out last year. So it's possible the other SKU that I didn't review, the one with the IPS display, might have had it.
So Mikey says he really wants the MSI GE62 Raider RGB-025. But it costs too much. But it has a 1070 in it. He says he wants it a lot. What do you think?
I haven't reviewed it, but yeah, I mean, like any laptop you're gonna buy with a 1070 inside is gonna be thick. So I mean, if you're okay with that and you're not gonna be bringing it to school, totally fine. Other alternatives, I know Lenovo is gonna have the Y730, which is a 15 or 17 inch variant. Down the road, they're gonna be putting a 1070 in there. The Asus Zephyrus that has a GTX 1070. And it's also very thin. Actually, that's a very good laptop, by the way. If you guys are looking for, you don't mind spending a little bit more money, check out the Asus Zephyrus. Okay, let's load this up.
Kunal wants to know if it's any better than the Y520.
Oh, God, yes, definitely. The Y520 was not that... I mean, it was fine. It wasn't that great. It had heating issues last year, and the display was awful. Any laptop you buy in 2018 is going to be better than 2017, obviously because of improvements, but just the hardware you're getting this year is significantly better. Those 6-core processors, we're getting slightly better heating, lower TDPs. You're going to get a better product. If you have a product from last year, I don't think it's worth the upgrade just because the game performance won't be that big of a deal. But if you're looking for things like slightly better displays, maybe you want to stream and game at the same time, then this year's models with the 6-core CPUs make a huge difference.
K20_MU wants to know, what about the Razer 15 4K?
The Razer 15 4K. Oh, Razer Blade 15. I'm still waiting to get one. I'm supposed to be getting one. I mean, these companies sometimes take a little bit longer. Usually I'm on the second wave. So when it comes in, I'll be definitely reviewing it.
This guy says, I got this laptop for class. I got it to do some computational physics whilst also playing some games back at home.
Cool. And you liking it? Are you happy with it? If there's anything you don't like about it, let everybody in the comments know. I'm curious.
Which is better value, the Dell G7 or the Acer, I'm assuming Nitro 5?
The Dell G7 or the Acer. Okay, so the Acer Nitro 5 is Acer's budget gaming laptop. So the Helios would be a step above. I haven't reviewed this year's Nitros. I reviewed last year's. Performance was pretty bad. They were using GTX 1050s, which is not a big deal if you're trying to get into gaming. It's just the thermals weren't that great. I'm not sure how this year's models are performing. I still have to review them. But if you can afford the extra couple $100, I really suggest taking a look at this one or the Helios 300. You're gonna get a lot more power for a slightly higher budget. Okay, let's see here.
How does this compare to the XPS 15 line?
Well, that's totally different. I mean, like the XPS 15 line is for like the creator, it's for basically for a creator or for someone like myself who's like on the road a lot, wants something light and portable, but still has a little bit of pep to it that I can game on because I like to personally game. The problem with the XPS line, and this goes for the XPS line this year and last year, is that there's a lot of overheating issues. The thermals in them haven't really been changed in the last few years. So even though you get some great speed, if you're using basically it for a long period of time, let's say you're rendering or playing games, you're going to notice some frame drops and you're going to notice the CPU not boosting as much as it should be. So there's still some overheating issues, but I still think it's worth it if you travel a lot. If you don't travel a lot and you don't care if your laptop's a little bit heavier, there are better solutions out there for a lower price point.
Okay, some quick questions. Roderick asks, does it have bloatware?
Every laptop has bloatware. I find Dell's are not too bad. I'll show you guys in a second. There's going to be some like pre-installed games. Helios 300 had quite a bit of bloatware, but I mean, you can uninstall everything, so it's not the end of the world.
A Coyote wants to know if you know the battery size.
No, I do not. I have to open it up, but I'm guessing it's around anywhere from. I'm guessing it's around 50 watt hours. That's my guess.
Yep, this guy says 54 watt hours.
Well, there you go. See, I know my laptops.
Tilak asks thoughts on the bezels.
They're thick. They're thick, but I mean, like, most gaming laptops at this price point, except for the Lenovo Y530 line, have thicker bezels.
Kunal wants to know if it still has one screw to open it up.
Okay, give me a second. I'm going to check on the bottom. I'm just waiting for this display calibration to finish first. Should be another few minutes. And I'll let you guys
Acid Banana Fish wants to know, he says 120 gigabytes seems a bit small, right?
Yes, definitely. But I mean, like, realistically, if you're just using it for your operating system, all you care about is the quick boot up times, maybe install a few applications that you use quite consistently. Throw everything else on the 1 terabyte drive. I mean, that's the whole purpose of it. It's just basically for your operating system. And again, if you don't like the 128, you can always swap it out down the road.
Nag says the Lenovo Y720 is on par with this laptop spec-wise. What do you think?
The 720, that's not using an 8th gen processor. That's using last year's 7th gen processor. I mean, like, I'm trying to remember, did I review the 720? Yes, I did review the 720. But it's a bigger laptop. Isn't that a 17-incher? I think it is. I think the 720 is a 17-incher. And it's pretty much the same size. If you don't mind going for last year's technology, then that could be a good option if you want to save a few bucks.
Ahmed says, many people wrote about an issue concerning upgrading the RAM to 32 gigabyte on Reddit. Do you know anything about this problem?
On the Dell G7?
I assume so.
If it's about the Dell G7, no, I do not know anything about this problem. Like I said, I just got this literally today. So I haven't done any research yet. I haven't put it through my tests. So this is very generalized unboxing. So the nitty-gritty details, you know what? Just like, we'll write them down. We'll keep them in mind, and we'll answer them in a future video or in the review itself.
What is the power of the Max-Q compared to the normal 1060?
So think of it as like a weaker 1060. So somewhere between a 1050 Ti and a 1060, like right in the middle. So it's not as fast as a 1060, but it's still a little bit faster than a 1050 Ti.
Lots of people want to know about the thermals. We should do a...
Want to do a thermal test? Okay.
CPU
Do you guys
stressor.
want to do a live thermal test? Let me know right now. We could do a live thermal test too. You know what? We'll do all the tests you want. Just let me know in the comments and I'll do everything you want live, and then I can also include it in my review.
How's the material? Do you think it'll be easy to get scratches and stuff? Says Kunal.
I mean, it's plastic, right? You're not going to see the scratches too much on the lid unless it's like black underneath the white paint. Unless I'm hoping it's a white plastic. It looks like it's a white plastic. So if that's the case, you won't see scratches there. But I mean, it's plastic. It feels solid. It doesn't feel poorly built or anything. It feels like basically all the other gaming laptops at this price point.
So people want to see Fortnite gameplay.
Fortnite gameplay? I'm terrible at Fortnite. I'll play it for you guys, but you guys are probably never going to come to my channel again after I get my head killed.
Okay, so it definitely seems like there is some sort of luck in the draw with the displays. It seems like there's one from LG and it's not that good.
Okay, let's see what this one is.
Nicholas says, what software do you use for calibration?
I'm using the Spider 5 data color. So this is a calibration tool that will measure basically all the stuff like your rating, you can do a display analysis to check out contrast ratios. So Spider 5.
Synonymous user asks, should he buy this or the Lenovo Legion?
So I'm assuming you mean the Y530. So the Y530 is cheaper. You are getting less powerful specs compared to this. If I had the money, I would choose this over the Y530 at this point.
What about this versus the Y730?
I haven't reviewed the Y730, but I really like the Y730. I mean, it has full RGB if that's your thing. More powerful GPU. You can get in 15 or 17-inch version. Yeah, it would be tough. Like I'd have to review it first, but that would be more in line with this laptop or the Helios 300.
So this is maybe something you should try. This guy says, Matthew, this has fantastic temps as long as you undervolt the CPU. If you don't, then it'll easily get up to 90 Celsius.
But that kind of makes sense for most laptops. I mean, if you undervolt any CPU, you're going to lower the temps on it. I think most people buying this are not going to be doing that. And quite frankly, I wouldn't want them to do that because it's going to avoid their warranty. If you're more of an enthusiast, I totally understand why you'd do it. But when I review laptops, I want them to have good thermals out of the box. If I have to start suggesting undervolting, then in my opinion, the company itself is not doing a good job with thermal output. Okay, you guys ready for the display? Here we go.
So whilst you're doing that, Roderick asks, how can a manufacturer discover that he's overclocked the GPU or, seeing as we're on this topic, overclocked the display?
Okay, so this display sucks. It's not as good as the Acer Predator Helios 300.
What are the results? Read it out.
67% sRGB, which is not good for design work. Usually you want around 100. And Adobe RGB.
Well, it's going to be lower, right?
Is going to be 50. So...
And how bright? A lot of people wonder how bright.
Oh yeah, I do the bright test. Thanks for reminding me. Okay, we're gonna do the bright test now. So yeah, display, not the best. Similar quality to Lenovo Y530. And now listen, when I say terrible display, I don't mean it's a terrible display in the sense that you're gonna look at this thing and want to puke all over it. I mean it's a terrible display in the sense that if you're maybe a professional photographer who likes to game, or maybe you're into design, you need something more color accurate. It's not good for that. But if you're just simply gaming, I mean, it looks good. I mean, the contrast levels look nice. There's a nice vibrancy to it, and games will look fine. It's just when you get into design work, that's when you're going to want something a little bit better.
So Roderick's question. So like, let's say we're talking about overclocking this display or even overclocking the GPU. How can the manufacturer know that that's what you've done when it voids the warranty?
That's a good question. I don't personally know. Like I don't know how they would be able to test that out, but I'm assuming there might be some sort of history of the stuff you've done to the laptop or something that sets some sort of test off so that they know that you changed those settings. It's kind of like when you open up a laptop and you see like those blue paint around the screws to know that you've already been inside of there. So they probably have their own similar tests to figure out. But I don't have like an accurate answer for you.
Is this practical for school?
Yeah, I mean, like, again, if you're looking for something that's going to give you a long battery, this is not going to do it. None of these gaming laptops will. You got to find something that's more of an ultrabook, like the one with the U series processors. So for school and long battery life, don't be looking at these.
But there are certain applications for schools that this would be good for, right?
Definitely. I mean, it just depends. Like, if you don't care having bad battery life, but you're okay sacrificing it for something that's more powerful to provide assistance with those applications, then it's fine, right? If you're doing design work at school and you need something powerful enough, again, unless you're hooking it up to an external monitor, I would stay away from this one. Okay, let's do a start test here. Okay, we're going to do a display analysis to find out exactly how bright this is. Okay, I'm going to put this...
So apparently it's the US version of this laptop that doesn't have a fingerprint sensor.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I don't see it. The power button would usually have some sort of like different indication to show that there is a fingerprint scanner, so kind of makes sense.
Compared to the G3 and G5, is this good value?
I haven't reviewed the G3 or G5, so I can't comment on that, but the G3 is obviously Dell's cheapest version of their G series gaming laptop, so again, that would be more comparable to the Y530.
Okay, so make sure you do a speaker test. Lots of people want to know about the speakers.
Okay, hold on. Speaker test will come up. So, like, honestly, if you have the money for it, I know for a lot of people spending over $1,000 is tough. And look, these things are expensive. But that $1,100 price point for a gaming laptop does provide a lot of value. So if you can get there, maybe save for an extra month, it's totally worth it. Because when you're sub 1,000, the 1050s and the 1050 Ti GPUs that come in those laptops, they're not going to last you a long time.
Are you doing a speaker test?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm still doing the bright test.
What are your thoughts on the AMD Ryzen 2700U processor?
I love what AMD is using with their mobile CPUs. I think they have great. I think they've come a long way. I'd still personally rather have Intel CPUs, but they're fine. You get pretty good battery life, good thermals. They provide decent performance. Yeah, they're not bad at all.
James asks, what would you recommend then for a solid gaming laptop for $1,200 or a lower price point?
So again, it would be either the Dell G7, it would be the Acer Predator Helios 300, one of Asus's GL models, the mid-tier gaming models. I think it's is the Strix or is it the Scar? I think it's the Scar. Those are the three that you'd want to be looking at. And HP's Omen line. I haven't tested them out. I'm still waiting to get my hands on the Omen lineup.
Rafe, I think that's how you pronounce it, says, are you planning to do a comparison of all three G series models in the future?
Honestly, I don't think I'll have them long enough to do a comparison of all three. Usually I only get these units for a few weeks and I have to give it back. But I will be doing a roundup of the G7, the Lenovo Y530, and the Acer Predator Helios 300 in an upcoming video. And hopefully, if I get my hands on it in time, I'm going to include the HP Omen 15.
So, just to throw this into the mix, a few people have asked about the HP Omen. How what thoughts on that compared to some of these?
So, from what I've been reading on other forums and stuff, like I said, again, I haven't reviewed it, but from what I understand, it offers a lot of value for the price point. I am receiving a lot of interest for it. So, I think it could be a good candidate, but I need to review it again. So brightness, 223 nits of brightness. That's not that great. This is actually worse than the Lenovo Y530, which costs $930. So with this one, it's the same price as the Predator Helios 300, but there are a few things that I don't like so far. I don't like the display. I don't like how it only gets up to 223 nits of brightness. And from that standpoint, the value is not there. In terms of performance, that's the next thing we're going to test very soon.
So whilst you're there, have a quick look about this one screw to open.
All right, let's take a look. Yep, one screw to open right there.
Are there any other colors available?
I think there's a black version. That's it. I think you have a choice between black and white.
Okay, so remember to do a CPU stress test. So
okay, let's do a stress test right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my password. So when you guys ever steal my laptop, you know it. Okay, close. Stress test. I got to download the application first. All right, is there any more questions in the meantime?
So yeah, people asking for gaming tests. So we'll do a CPU thermal test, then we'll go over to a gaming test.
We'll try gaming just because it'll take some time to download, but we can try.
We'll just use definitely Fortnite. Everyone wants to do Fortnite.
Of course. Oh yeah, I think I asked this last week, and I keep bringing it up. But do you guys want to do like a gaming stream? Like whoever can fit in the squad for Fortnite can play along with us?
If you say yes, can you just say yes to the gaming stream? Because by the time we read the comments, we don't know what you're saying yes to.
Because I really want to do a gaming stream. I'm just...
Oh, also do a speaker test. Speaker thermals and gaming.
Okay, let's do a speaker test. Actually, you know what? I got the Predator Helios 300 right here. Let's see here.
So Brandon says, friend wants to stream games and such. Should they be using the Dell G7 7588 or the Acer Predator Helios 300?
Sorry, what was the
for streaming games and such? Dell G7
Yeah.
7588 or the Acer.
7588. Oh, is that the model number for this? Yeah, Dell G7 7588.
Wait, are you a tech reviewer?
No, I've never reviewed tech. Never reviewed tech in my life. It's my first laptop review.
So Acer Helios 300 or the Dell G7 for streaming games.
Yeah, I mean they're both the exact same processor. They both have i7s 8750H. Again, 6-core processors. So 6 cores means you can stream games and play at the same time. You're more capable of doing that. I'm just kind of worried about overheating when you're doing it though, because the thermals in the Helios 300 are okay, but they're not the greatest.
Is this a fingerprint magnet?
Yes, definitely. They both are. Both of these are. I don't know if you can see it on camera. Like, switch the thing to number 1. I don't know if you can see like the fingerprints. It's kind of hard to see. But yeah, it's hard to see, but it gets fingerprints easily. To be honest with you guys, I don't think I've reviewed a laptop that's not a fingerprint magnet, unless you're buying like a silver product.
Okay, so Roderick wants to know, should he buy the Alienware R5 with the i9 and GTX 1080 or an Asus?
Alienware, man.
I'm not sure which Asus.
Oh, probably the Zephyrus, I'm assuming, the 1070. I think there's a 1080 version as well.
Oh yeah, he says or buy an Asus. Yeah.
Honestly, if you're gonna be, it depends. If you're gonna be traveling a lot and moving around with it, I'd get the Asus. But if you're gonna have like a dedicated home gaming laptop, I'd probably lean towards the Alienware.
So it definitely looks like you need to have a look at the new HP Omen 15.
Definitely do.
Lots of people talking about that. Is there any difference between the 7577 and this? Asks the anonymous chipmunk.
The 7577, which is last year's model, that one only came up with a 1050 Ti, I believe. Basically some performance. I mean, like you're getting, yeah, so the differences would be a better CPU, 6 cores instead of 4, and a slightly stronger GPU. But based on the display, you're not getting much of an upgrade in terms of display technology and maybe thermals.
So what are we doing now? Speaker test?
We're going to be doing a speaker test first, and then we're going to do...
So hurry up.
Hey man, I'm trying to get all this installed.
In the meantime, Philbert wants to know which one is better, the i7 7th gen with a GTX 1060 or an i7 8th gen with a GTX 1050 Ti?
For strictly gaming, definitely. If you're just doing strictly gaming, the last year's model with the 1060. I mean, it's all about the GPU.
Can you, so given that this display is bad, can you swap it out for another one? Like a...
You probably...
Is it, as in, is there an option?
No.
When you buy it?
No, there's no option. I do believe there is... I don't know if it's out yet, but I do believe there is a better display option coming out with a higher refresh rate. I'll have to confirm that.
Shah Zeb asks, is the Huawei MateBook Pro X 2018
I love that laptop.
a good laptop for content creators or the LG Gram, specifically for color accuracy for photo editing?
Definitely get the MateBook X over the LG Gram. That laptop is probably one of my favorite Ultrabooks of 2018. In fact, out of all the products that Huawei released this year, the MateBook X is probably my favorite. It has the MX150 inside, so you are going to get a little bit more pep. I don't think it's good enough to edit 4K video, but you might get away with some very, very light video editing between 720 and 1080p. As long as it's not your full-time gig, maybe off and on here and there. But don't buy it to just edit video because it's not powerful enough. But it's definitely better than the LG Gram, that's for sure. Okay, here we go. Starting the heat test right now for this guy.
I thought we were doing speaker test.
You want to do speaker test first? Well, I just started the heat. Okay, fine, let's do the speaker test first.
Give the people what they want.
I think one of the stability test first. Okay, SoundCloud.
So is this too big to carry around? This is in reference to Skip Tudalu's question.
For just like general every day. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, he says it looks too big to carry around.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to carry this around every day. I mean, it's fine if you're just going to a friend's house to game and stuff, but I would not want to carry this on a daily basis.
Do you think Dell has the capability to make a thin and light gaming laptop like the Razer Blade or the MSI GS65? I mean, the Alienwares are getting less popular because of their insane weight, says the anonymous chipmunk.
I think they have the capabilities, but I think just like every other thin and light laptop, the problem is heat management. And I think that's the biggest issue. And we're seeing that with the Dell XPS 15, which is using some of the same internals as some of these gaming laptops that are currently on the market. So yeah, definitely they have almost the capabilities. It's heat.
Kunal asks, does that USB-C port support up to 4 lanes?
Yes, 4 PCIe lanes, full Thunderbolt 3 support. These ones don't have Thunderbolt 3. What's going on here? Okay, you know what?
So this is something you should look into. A lot of people are saying that they've run into problems with upgrading RAM, and it seems to be an issue.
On this laptop, on the Dell G7?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to do a test for that for the review then. RAM, just different displays. What else did you guys want to know? What's going on with this SoundCloud?
So, Aditya, there is no IR camera for Windows Hello.
Let's see. Yeah, I don't think, no, there's no IR camera. It's actually not bad compared to the other cameras.
I thought you were doing a speaker test.
Sorry, I got distracted with the camera. I'm having troubles like logging into SoundCloud here. This is serious business.
You don't need to log in. Just go to the website, press play. So Kiadi, sorry if I butchered your name. He asked, how should the color accuracy be efficient? Essentially asking, what should it be for it to be good for content creators?
So if you're doing content creation, generally when you're editing, let's say for Photoshop or whatever.
It's simple. It's 100%.
100%, yeah, because that's what we see on the web. The web is sRGB, and you want 100%. If it's 98, you can get away with it, but 100% is what you want. Okay, so we got this one. Here you go. Speaker test.
Open sesame. smoke too many swishes, rolling till that table wobble. I roll around with women who be off the full bottle. And if you want it, I can give it, but I
It's nice and
don't
clear.
want to. I make my flows viral. Son, I be mixing on the smoothest movies.
Okay, so that's the Dell G7, nice and clear. It's very crisp, not super duper loud, but pretty loud. Here's a comparison with the Acer Predator Helios 300. Probably a good idea if I turn up the volume here. You guys can hear it.
Yeah, I got too many problems. I smoke too many swishes, rolling till that
G7's better.
I roll around with women who be off the full bottle.
Oh yeah, definitely better. Okay. Okay, so basically out of all the 3 laptops that I've been reviewing lately, the G7 definitely sounds the best and gets the loudest.
Okay, so next up, webcam webcam test. Everyone is saying yes to the gaming stream.
Okay. So lots of people want gaming stream. Gaming stream we shall do. I'm also going to be creating a Discord server so you can get a hold of me any time of the day and night. I won't sleep for you guys. That's the kind of sacrifice I make for this channel. Okay,
so to the anonymous chipmunk, if you want to get in touch with Matt, just message him on Instagram or something.
Yeah. Right now, Instagram DM me is probably the easiest. I can have a private conversation with you without having to like follow or whatever.
Thoughts on the webcam? Go.
It looks like every other 720p webcam.
You did say before it looked
It is
good.
a little better. So like for the highlights and stuff around my face, on the Predator Helios 300 was really, I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me put it back a little bit. Yeah, it's a 720p webcam. Honestly, none of these laptops have good webcams, but the color's not too bad. It's fine for streaming. Like if you think about it, this is going to be about this size on the corner of your screen when you're streaming games. So it's going to look okay, but I wouldn't be using this as my main device to do video conferencing.
So how about compared to the ones it's competing up against?
I definitely like it better than the Helios 300 and the Lenovo Y530. But like the differences are so small. Like it shouldn't be your deciding factor when you're looking at these laptops. Okay, ready for the stress test? Stress test time.
Okay, so thermal's coming up.
All right, let's see.
So I think some people just might be missing out on some of these questions. Which display is the best so far in terms of these?
So out of all 3 laptops, the Predator Helios 300 has the best display with a 98% sRGB rating compared to the 67 on this one and the 64 or 67 on the Lenovo Y530. And again, if you're gaming, still fine, but just as strictly for design work. Okay, so we already have...
So Murugesh asks, conveniently enough, what about the noise from the cooling section while gaming or when in normal use? Is it low or high? So currently, this is...
Currently, I'd say it's about medium right now. Like that's
this is medium to you?
This is not super loud.
This is like a jet taking off.
No, it's not. Trust me, if I put that one on, you're gonna think the house is about to blow up. Like it's loud. This is like, I would say like pretty standard for like if you're gaming for like a good 30-40 minutes. There is a little bit of thermal throttling. Right now, CPU temps are at 2.9. This can boost up to 3.8, I believe. We're around 80 degrees Celsius. Current average is 55, but we're around 80. And we have about, it just thermal throttled for 1 second and then went back down. So let's see how long this goes
Okay,
for.
so we'll let that run.
Let's go for a good 15
Jason
minutes.
says he has seen a YouTuber upgrade the screen to a 144 hertz screen from the Generation 1 Zephyrus. However, you lose the brightness adjustment.
Yeah.
You should do that.
I should do it for one video. How to upgrade your screen. I think that'd be interesting. I've never done that before. Like replaced a laptop screen with a new one. So that could be a good video. If you guys want to see that, I'll do it.
Ahmed asks, is the i9 version of this laptop worth it if he had the extra money?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like, if it's for gaming, no. I don't think it's worth it. If it's for, unless you're like hardcore streaming all day, but if it's just for like regular gaming, I don't think it's worth it. Unless you're doing content creation, like Adobe Premiere, for example, those extra cores, higher speeds are really beneficial. So thermals are pretty good so far. Well, 80, 82. It's hit 100 a couple of times at thermal throttle, but so far they seem pretty steady. Current speed is about 3 gigahertz, which is higher than what I'd get on the Helios 300. That usually stayed around 2.5 when it was thermal throttling.
Okay, Craig B asks, is the Huawei MateBook X Pro VR capable?
No, it is not. The MX150 is not capable of handling VR.
Alpha asks, how easy is it to access the internals on the G7?
Easy. It's just one screw. You take off the lid.
Hytham asks, why did Dell stick with the thick design even though they went with the Max Q design? He doesn't get it.
So that's a good question. I think by sticking with the thicker design, you just get even better thermals with a Max Q GPU. So, if they don't change, first of all, it's cheaper not to change a design, right? Like they don't have to go in their shop and remanufacture on how the way the product is processed. So yeah, they save money. And you still get great thermals in a chunkier design.
Roderick he asks, are you using Dolby Audio? So I'm assuming these are the questions from when we did the speaker test.
Yeah, so every time I test these out, whatever default equalizers that each laptop is using, I leave them on. And I turn them off to see the difference.
So we did that last week with...
We did that with the Y530, I believe.
And it made it louder and clearer.
Yeah, but it still wasn't like...
No.
Yeah. So this one doesn't use Dolby Audio. This is Max Audio Pro. Same sort of idea. It's just to boost the actual sound. But this one definitely sounds the best out of all three laptops.
Phil Dennis doesn't like speaker tests. He's like, we all use headphones.
It's true. Well, okay.
But I mean, like, we were only doing it because everyone asked for it.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, to do a speaker test on any video, even if I show you a recorded video like a review, it means nothing because it's going to sound totally different to everybody depending on what they're listening to, and you really can't tell the difference unless you're there in person. So you have to take my word for it.
Okay, so next test after or before gaming is test a trackpad. Thoughts on a trackpad?
So yeah, trackpad, I love how big it is. I think slightly better. Ever so slightly better than the Predator Helios 300.
What's the material like?
They're all plastic. All of these trackpads are plastic. If you want a glass trackpad, you got to buy the more expensive laptops. But good size, precision drivers, so that's good. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, I'd still prefer an external mouse, but it's not bad overall.
Okay, two things. Roderick says, are you using maximum performance on Windows power settings? Because there's loads of options, especially in Dell's.
Okay, actually, you know what? Right now it's not on. Right now it's on power mode. Let's pump it up.
Right now it's on power mode.
So there's like best battery life, power mode, and then there's best performance. I just
Got it.
put on best performance, so it should clock higher. Let's see.
So a kitty asks, speaking of webcams, why is it trash on many, if not all, laptops? What's the deal, dude?
Honestly, that's a good question. I mean, the only laptop that I've tested that has a great webcam is the Microsoft Surface Book 2. It has a 1080p webcam, looks great. I don't know why vendors are putting bad webcams, especially now that everyone's streaming and especially that everyone in the business segment does video conferencing. I mean, it's an important feature. I've heard arguments that people don't want to look great while they're talking to somebody else because you can notice more details. And when you're in a meeting, you don't want that to be present. So I don't know. I don't know the real reason. It's kind of a shame.
Nikolash asks, does this come VR ready and does it have G-Sync?
Yes, it comes VR ready. No, it does not have G-Sync.
Does the USB-C port on the Dell G7 have Thunderbolt 3?
Yes, it does. 4 PCIe lanes. So you can hook it up to an eGPU. It's the only one out of the ones that I'm reviewing that has an actual Thunderbolt 3 port, which is great.
Is there a difference between the Y530's 250 nits and 300 nits display in terms of color accuracy and vibrancy?
The 300 nits, there's two just...
So apparently, according to this, the context sounds like there's two different
versions?
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, if it's 300 nits, it'll be a little bit brighter, but I haven't reviewed it.
But he says, is there a difference in terms of color accuracy?
That's a good question. I have to look into that. Like I said, I don't have it, so I'd have to probably look into it for you. Okay, so we have... So basically, it's hovering around... It's getting higher. It's at 90 degrees now. 2 of the cores are around 80. 3 of them are around 85. It's not thermal throttling at the moment. Like I said, it only thermal throttled for 1 second, and then it went back down. The core speeds are around 3,000 megahertz, which is pretty good, much higher than the Predator Helios 300, which kind of sits around 2.2 or 2.5 when it's gaming. But I'll have to actually game on this. I should be downloading Fortnite. Well, it's already 5 o'clock, so I don't think we'll be able to test that today, but...
Do it right now.
To download.
Glorious 60 frames per second asks, how much performance difference is there between the Helios 300's 1060 and a G7's 1060 Max Q?
It's definitely noticeable. I mean, you're going to probably get another 10 to 15 more frames with the full-size 1060 than you would with the Max Q.
Hassan asks, does that come with the 2-in-1 design?
No, it does not.
Jim Mick asks, does the G7 have software to control the fans?
Let's find out. I know the Predator Helios 300 does. Let's see if this one does. I don't think so.
Final thoughts on a typing experience?
Typing experience is okay. It's not my favorite. It's kind of like a gaming version of the Dell XPS 15, so like slightly shorter travel distance. The keys are nice and stiff though, but I do prefer the keyboard on the Predator Helios 300 and the Lenovo Y530.
Do you find that software to control the fans?
There is no software to control the fans that I can see at this current moment in time. Max Q design. Okay, let's go to Fortnite. Play for free. Download. Yeah, the fan noise is not too bad. If I was to put that one on right now, like the Predator Helios 300, it'd be really loud.
So Roderick continues with the tips. He says, can you push the fans to their max? And this test, I'm assuming he's asking, is this test using the GPU only or just CPU? Oh,
CPU and GPU.
there you go.
Test it all, baby.
Field Dennis asks, what I would like to see is a review on the Dell G3 17-inch. I don't see that anywhere on YouTube. Just say you would, and I would subscribe and hit that bell thingy.
I would. If I can get my hands on it, I definitely will just for you.
So, Field Dennis, just harass him on Twitter and Instagram.
So just one note for you guys. I get a lot of questions to review certain products, and if I had it my way, I'd review every single laptop, but it's basically whatever I can get. I mean, like I said, I live in Canada. I am restricted to whatever the Canadian offices get, which sometimes is like one SKU of the G3, G5, and G7. But I will be reviewing the G3. I think we have one here, so I will be reviewing that.
So just an update, the anonymous...
How many people are in the thing right now?
145.
Okay.
Anonymous Chipmunk says he's DM'd you. He was talking about getting together to do the gaming thing on Discord.
Yeah, totally. I mean, we can set something up. Maybe the next live stream we'll just do a gaming session. Like if you guys are all cool with that, we can just do a gaming session for next week, and then if it works out, we can do them more often. If you guys hate it, we can scrap it or maybe just do it on Twitch. I don't know. I'm open to your opinions.
Ahmed says, Dell G7 or the MSI GS65? The MSI has a better GPU and screen, but many people complain about the MSI hinges breaking after 1 or 2 years, which is holding him back.
You know what? I've reviewed it. Like, I don't mind MSI laptops, but I've had a lot of, like, for my personal reviews, a lot of quality control issues with them. I don't know how it is this year. The GS65 does look attractive because it's pretty thin, especially when you compare it to this. So, yeah, I mean, that's one of the things you have to take into consideration. But I will review it, and I'll give you my opinion, I promise. As soon as I can get my hands on it. I'm harassing them.
So Hassan says he ordered his on Best Buy last week, and it says that it comes with a 2-in-1 design.
The G7?
Yeah, so he's asking, do you think they meant something else?
That's interesting. I have not seen a 2-in-1 design. I'm going to look that up right now. Let's take a look. Dell G7 2-in-1.
Ashwin asks, Dell or Predator, which is better for high-resolution gaming?
So again, which Predator? Are you talking about the more expensive Predator, like the regular Acer Predator 15s? Are you talking about the Alienwares? Or are you talking about the midget tier, which is the G7s, the Helios 300?
Few people said, hey, Dave did a G3 video.
Yes, I know Dave did the G3 video from what you guys have been telling me. And I will be doing the G3
this is
video
so funny.
too.
I'm teasing you.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
no, people are saying it.
Oh, Ash is saying it.
No, people are saying it, but
Oh, okay.
I'm just highlighting it because it's funny.
Yes.
Roderick says, is the BIOS unlocked so you can push the wattage in terms of Intel Extreme tuning, or is it locked?
That's a good question. I have to restart it and find out.
Okay.
But I'm downloading Fortnite right now, so I can't restart it.
So yeah, definitely people want to see the G3 17-inch review.
Okay, G3, I'm going to request it. Yeah, and I still have to review the Dell XPS 15, the 9570. That I'm like really interested in reviewing.
He says thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay, so the Discord server, as soon as I have it live, I'm going to place it in the description. It's not live. I'll probably do that sometime tonight. I'll also post it in my YouTube community. And of course, yeah, maybe I'll even post it in an Instagram story. So follow me on Instagram if you want to see that.
Alex says he just got his in the mail and it has a broken screen with no signs of damage, so he's going to have to use it with a monitor.
Awesome. Oh, by the way,
you should
guys,
send it back
what?
and get it replaced, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you'll have to send it back, get it replaced, or use it with your monitor in the meantime. By the way, I'm going to be doing a giveaway soon, not today, soon, on a brand new Dell XPS 5520. Okay, this is a matte black, not Dell XPS, sorry, Dell Precision 5520. So for those of you guys who are unfamiliar with the Dell Precision, it is a same chassis as the Dell XPS 15, but it's using a Quadro card instead of a GTX GeForce card. So if that's something you're interested in, follow me on Instagram, because that's probably where I'm going to place it. Probably in the next couple of weeks to 3 weeks. We'll be doing a giveaway. One of you lucky guys will go home with the silver version of this, not the black version. Man, I wish they made the Dell XPS 15 in black. I know you can get the 2-in-1 in black, but man, it looks just so much better in black. So yes, follow me on Instagram. If you want to follow me, it's in the description.
Juan says hi from Argentina, and we have Kevin who says hi from Bolivia, and we have Jason who says hi from the Eastern Caribbean.
Wow. Damn. Well, that's a lot. That's crazy how many different countries are here, man. I love it. Like, welcome to the channel. Thank you for taking the time to be here with me and Ash. We truly do appreciate it. And we love this, and we love the fact that you guys are interested in what we're interested in too.
Forever Boy says, damn, your live stream quality is incredible. So much fire.
You're just basically right now, you saying that, you're stroking Ash's ego right now. He's just like loving it so much. He's smiling. That's why he's not on camera. He'd be smiling the whole time.
Discord server, when is it going live? When's the next stream? Just so he knows for the gaming thing, says the anonymous chipmunk.
Yeah, I just saw that over there. I said basically I'm going to place it in the description of this video, probably later tonight when I set it up. But
you two should just talk on Instagram and sort it out.
Yeah, yeah. If you're already messaging me on Instagram, I'll post it to you as soon as I have it live. So yeah, we're 53% of this installer. So
Akiedes from Madagascar, Roderick's from Portugal, Ashwin's from India,
nice.
Telex from India, Deluge Productions from Romania.
Welcome, guys. Welcome. I love the fact that everyone here is from different parts of the world.
Amir's from Egypt.
And Roderick, I'm Portuguese too. You're probably just as upset as I am of Portugal losing in the World Cup. I mean, to be quite honest, the team wasn't that great. It was just Ronaldo, but it's too bad. I wish we went a little bit further. Would have been nice, you know?
Coin Fish from Thailand. Havex from the UK, my man.
What's up, guys? Thank you for being here. Hello from Thailand. Hello, Havex from the UK. Hello, everybody. You guys are awesome.
All right, so where are we with this
so
Fortnite?
63%. I don't know why it's going so slow. 3 minutes left, it says. So once that's done, we'll install it. I probably need a mouse because I can't game with a trackpad.
Yeah, I'll go get it.
Okay, we'll get it after. There's still lots of time. All right, so anyways, in the meantime, while this is happening, let's open up questions to everything, not just basically laptops. If you guys want to talk about smartphones, we can do that. Just to let you guys know, I'm back on the Huawei P20 Pro. I was using the G7 for a little while, and I don't know. Yes, Roderick, it's true. I'm Portuguese. I'm born in Canada, but my parents are Portuguese. They're both from the Azores, San Miguel and Santa Maria. Anyways, this is the Huawei P20 Pro. I'm back on it. I don't know. There's just something about it. I can't get away from it. So the camera, I was playing with it the other night. I was like, damn, this camera's just too good.
Ashwin says, can he buy an iPhone SE in 2018?
Yes, you can. You can buy one if you want, but I don't recommend it. I think there's better options these days, like the Sony Sony Xperia XZ2 Compact. I think is probably the best small phone you can buy right now.
Hassan says, did you check that 2-in-1 design? Did you?
Yeah, I looked it up. I don't see anything. If you see it, link it in this conversation. I'd love to take a look at it because I'm very curious. I know there's a Dell 2-in-1, which is their XPS, but I don't think there's an actual G7 2-in-1. But I could be wrong.
Codemaker from Germany, Brooke from Ethiopia, Alpha from the UK.
Damn, I'm loving it. What else do you got?
Mikey says he would love to get the maxed out Razer Blade 15, but 2,500 is way too much.
So expensive, but it's such a nice laptop. I'm supposed to have one here soon. I'm guessing in probably 2 weeks. But yeah, it's such a nice laptop.
What about the Asus Case 570 UD review?
Asus K570UD. Which one's that? K570UD.
Okay, questions are coming in thick and fast. Thoughts on the S9 Plus?
I love it. I still think it's one of the best phones you can get in 2018 so far. I wish mine was still working because I'm an idiot and decided to do a water test with it. But yes, great smartphone. I love it. But wait for the Note 9. It's coming out in a couple months. Could be a good option.
Are you going to try the new Xiaomi Mi 8 Expedition Edition? The one with the transparent glass back.
If I can get my hands on it, yes. Right now, I don't see myself getting my hands on it. But yeah, I'm definitely going to try the Oppo. Was it the Oppo Find X? Was that what Oppo Find X? I'm waiting to get my hands on that first.
Tilak, gonna be a bit of a mouthful. Is the new Asus ROG GL503 GE good?
The Asus
Lists a bunch of
GL503.
specs. He says it's pretty cheap in India, 20-25% cheaper than the G7.
Yes, that is the Strix. That is similar to the Lenovo Y530 in terms of specs. The 1050 or 1050 Ti. I'm still waiting to get my hands on it. I actually just spoke to the Asus representative here in Canada today. I should have it in the next couple of weeks. They're just doing their little demo first, and then I'll probably get one to review.
Yeah, so it seems like in India the G7 is not a good option because of the taxes.
That sucks.
It costs too much.
Same in Canada.
So for them, you should probably recommend something else.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of requests to review something from Asus called the F504. Or is that the one you just mentioned? Apparently, it's like a
that was the GL503 GE.
GL503G. That's the Strix. Yeah, that's the Strix. But there's another one called the Asus F something, and apparently I keep getting requests to review it, but doesn't exist here. It must be a SKU in India that they don't have in Canada or the United States.
Vassal, nice to meet you. He says, does the G7 have better thermal solution than the G5?
I don't know. I've never reviewed the G5, but I'm assuming it's pretty similar. Actually, probably better worse because the G5 I'm assuming has a 1050 or 1050 Ti, which means it has a lower TDP.
Jor says he's buying the Mate 10 Pro for under 400 euros. He's
Mate
excited.
10 Pro. Oh, nice. That's a great deal. Huawei phones are pretty good. I'm pretty impressed with them. Everyone keeps these keep getting better and better every single year.
Alpha says, do you think the Predator Triton 700 should have a refresh?
Yes, please. That was one of my favorite laptops that came out at the end of 2017. I don't know if you guys remember, but like right at the end of the year, we got some crazy Max Q designs from Asus and Acer. The Triton was kind of my favorite one, and it definitely needs a refresh. And they are refreshing it. They just haven't announced it yet, but they will be refreshing it. Mark my words.
Jason says, are you going to test the spill-proof keyboard on the G7?
Well, now I am. What would you like me to spill on it? Let's keep it clean.
Field Ennis says, do you think the next-gen iPhone will be dual SIM?
No, I don't think so. I think it's going to be standard as always.
So the anonymous chipmunk, I do agree, says, don't you hate it how all of these companies have all these stupid names that sound like barcodes for their devices?
For laptops, it is the worst. Like, there's just GL503, Acer, and then like you just have all these different SKUs. It's so hard to remember. And then like people ask you questions, you're like FX504. Oh, you mean the GL703 254 Megatron? Like, they're just ridiculous. I remember I sat down with a Asus representative one time, and she was trying to break it down for me. By the time the dinner was over, I totally forgot what it meant because it's just ridiculous.
Fair few people from Russia. Hello, hope you're enjoying the football.
Hello, Mother Russia. Thank you for joining in. I appreciate it.
Is the Huawei P20 Pro getting regular security updates?
I haven't received any updates recently, so I don't know. Probably not. But yeah. No, not really.
Roderick,
Maybe.
Do you have any thoughts on the PC specialist laptops?
PC specialist laptops? Can you give me a specific model? Are you talking about like workstation laptops?
I'm assuming that's like those companies that build laptops.
Oh, you mean like exotic gaming and like...
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you want to configure your own laptop, it's pretty cool. You can be precise exactly what you want. But, like, I mean, you are getting materials that... I mean, honestly, it's more for an enthusiast. Like, you're not going to be getting, like, a fancy metal design or, like, you know, thin bezels. You're buying something that's more practical rather than something that has a little bit of flair to it, something that's more mainstream.
So, Gloria 60 FPS says, do a video on applying liquid metal thermal paste on laptops.
That could be fun. I just got to convince one of these manufacturers to let me destroy their laptops. But yes, that could be good.
I mean, you could just buy one.
I could just buy one, but that costs money. And this is a channel that It's very tight on my. No, I'm just kidding. We're not. We're good.
Lawrence says, imagine a laptop with dash charge. That would be awesome.
There are some laptops with quick charging now. The Ultrabooks have some of them. I think. Which one is it? Oh, which model has like a quick charge? It might even be the MateBook. No, it's not the MateBook.
Brandon says you should spell poutine.
Poutine. Just make it super Canadian, eh?
Yep.
Wow, I even said A at the end. That just seals the deal right there.
Havex says, Matt, what's your daily driver laptop?
Right now I'm using the Surface Book 2 as my daily driver laptop, but I am planning on switching from it very soon just because actually I have a little video coming out on that in the very near future, so stay tuned for that. But right now it's still the Surface Book 2.
Akhil asks, should Dell be making smartphones?
No, they tried before. Did they have smartphones or was that their tablets? No, I don't think they need to make smartphones. There's enough competition as there is already.
Review the new Aero 15.
Yeah, Gigabyte is another company I'm still trying to get hands on, so hopefully one of these days I'll have some Gigabyte products for you. Okay, I'm just downloading updates now. I don't know why it's going so slow. The stream is taking up all the bandwidth.
Aman says Motorola is the worst. He has a G5 Plus and he bought it on its launch day last year, March. Still hasn't got Oreo. Thoughts?
Welcome to the life of Android phones. I mean, most of these Android... The BlackBerry Key 1 is just getting Android Oreo right now. I mean, that's just the way it is. Hopefully with Project Trouble, we're going to see a big change this year, at least with the manufacturers that have signed on. But that's just Android. That's the way it is. Even this, I'm probably not going to get the next version for a very long time.
Anonymous Chipmunk says, do me a favor. Go back to that Zeus representative that you had dinner with and tell them to sort out their naming scheme.
So Anonymous Chipmunk is angry. He'll come out. He'll no longer be anonymous if you actually do some proper naming schemes. Okay, I don't think we're going to get the gaming done today. I mean, this is taking forever. So let's just do 10 more minutes of questions. Then we're going to wrap it up. If you guys are down for gaming, let me know in the comments. Not these comments, like the comments of the video. Let me know if you want a gaming stream. And then we can do that separately. We can
Everyone's already said yes.
They already said yes?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
No point asking them again.
Gaming it is. Let me know what games then. Fortnite. Let me know if you want to do Overwatch, because I'm more comfortable with Overwatch, but I could do Fortnite too. And then, yeah, that's
You should
pretty much
just put up to a vote, see what comes
Okay.
out on top.
All right, vote it is.
Because it could be,
I'll put Minesweeper, Solitaire,
There you go.
Overwatch, and Fortnite. Okay, 10 minutes of questions. Let's do this.
Oh, is anyone into fighting games like Tekken or Street Fighter or that kind of stuff?
Ash will play with you.
I'll play with you.
He'll play with you.
Or even racing like Gran Turismo.
He'll play with you.
Need some more people to play
And
with.
if everyone says no, we'll have a stream of Ash playing by himself.
Which is what I do all the time anyways. Okay,
Not
so
that kind of playing
Hassan
by yourself.
got back to you.
Okay.
He says it's not let me add the URL, so just go to Best Buy and search Dell G7.
Okay.
Open the one that costs $10.79. Go to the specs and features. There it says 2-in-1 design. I'm assuming it's just a bug or mistype.
Yeah, it could be a bug. I'll check it out for you guys tonight. I'm not going to look at it now because it's going to take up too much time. But let's get these questions going on.
What's
No,
a
I'm not
good
playing
budget
Minecraft.
tablet?
Good budget tablet. Amazon Fire tablets. They're cheap. They're easy to use. You can watch Netflix.
Thoughts on the ROG phone?
Pretty cool. I like this whole gaming phone industry is kind of interesting. I think it has potential just because a lot of major games are moving to gaming phones. But do we actually need it? That's the big question.
Will you review the new Razer Blade 15?
Yes, I will be reviewing it. Just waiting for it to come in.
Do you still hate the iPhone X?
I've gotten
Yes.
used to it. I hated it at first, but I've gotten used to it. In fact, I don't even use an iPhone anymore because, again, just like the Galaxy S9 Plus, I dumped it in water and it's now broken. So I'm strictly on Android until the next iPhone comes out.
Ariane asks, do you recommend the Asus Flip 14 with the MX150 for 3D modeling software? No.
No, definitely not. You need something more powerful. Something with a Quadro card if you're doing 3D. Or actually, you're doing a lot of 3D rendering in the cloud now, so you might be okay with it. Depends. If you do your 3D rendering in the cloud, it could work. But if you're doing it on your device, it's not powerful enough.
I have no idea how to say this name, but Sal Shio says, hey, Matt.
Hey, what's up? All right, great.
Everyone wants gaming.
Pop over G4 now. Okay, good.
More questions on the keyboard. Just recap what your thoughts were on the
Okay,
keyboard.
questions. Quick recap on the keyboard. So I don't know if you've ever played with the Dell XPS 15, but imagine a gaming version of that. Slightly more travel distance. It has a nice actuation force to it. Not as plush as the Helios 300, but it's fine. Like, it's not my favorite, but it's fine. I mean, if you're going to type on this for a long period of time, you're good. I don't know. It's fine for gaming, but it's not my favorite. Yeah.
Okay, so gaming suggestions are in. Pretty much a straight sweep of Gran Turismo and Tekken's.
I think that's been rigged.
So we got PUBG, Fortnite, CS:GO,
And
Overwatch,
Don't forget that one there, but the second one.
Crysis, Minecraft.
We're not playing Crysis. That is definitely a troll.
Vassal asks, which drivers install on this laptop, from Dell or from Intel NVIDIA site?
Oh,
So where would you go?
So this one had the GeForce. Sorry. So the way it works is they all come with NVIDIA control panel, and then what I usually do is I download the GeForce experience and update the drivers. The only time I don't do that is if I don't see the NVIDIA control panel installed, because that means they're probably using their own proprietary drivers. So, but yeah, NVIDIA.
Anonymous Chipmunk, do you think other companies have the capability to build something like the Surface where the screen can detach? He wants to see competition in that space instead of boring 2-in-1s.
Yeah, I mean, it's already been done. It was what was the manufacturer that did it? It was a Porsche, actually, who did that design that was very similar to the Surface Book. I just think it comes down to the question on whether or not it's worth it. Like, do you really need a Surface Book 2, or are you fine with a traditional laptop? Like, me personally, I don't need the flexibility of a Surface Book 2. So, I mean, and again, if you do that flexibility, isn't the Pro strong enough for you? So, I mean, it's really, really small niche. These amazing products that Microsoft is creating is basically to say, listen, we're Microsoft, we can design beautiful products. They know they're not going to sell tons of them.
Quick thoughts on the Mi laptop.
The original one, great bang for your buck, but if you buy it at your own risk, warranty could be an issue. Getting it at least service could be an issue if there's anything wrong with it.
Roderick, what is the best tablet you can get now?
It's iPad, man.
iPad Pro?
iPad Pro. I hate to say it, but like, if you guys are Android fans, you know, iPad is it. Still the best tablet you can buy. Same with smartwatches.
So Mikey says he's so upset that NVIDIA stopped making tablets because when his dies, he won't have a powerful tablet to go to. Same here. I have one. Yeah, no more. Yeah. Has Chrome OS got the capability against Windows or Mac OS if Google give it drivers so that it can get the necessary app support?
I definitely don't think it has the capabilities yet, but there is a rumor that they're going to be able to dual boot it with Windows in the near future. That's a rumor, so it won't be. You won't find Chrome being as powerful as Windows anytime soon.
Do people call you Matthew Moniz?
No, they don't. They call me Moni. No, actually, they just call me whatever they want.
So how do you really pronounce your surname? Do it.
So everyone calls me Matthew Moniz, but my last name in Portuguese is Moniz. So, but I never correct anyone because I really don't care. But that's how you pronounce my last name.
Moniz.
Moniz. Okay? No, it's not like that, but it's Moniz.
How bad is the G7's display?
Bad. Like, same as the Y530. It's 67% color accuracy. Not the greatest for sRGB. Great for gaming. Fine for gaming. Terrible for design work.
What's your favorite offline story mode game? Matthew doesn't play story mode games. He plays 2 games and that's it.
Okay, it's not fair. I've been playing a lot of Tomb Raider.
Oh my God! See, he can't even say the name of the game. It doesn't count.
I've been playing a lot of that, so I'd probably say that's. Like,
you've said you finished like your first story game, didn't you? Lucky's Tale.
Yes, Lucky's. That's a kid's game. I played with my kids for that one. Lucky's Tale.
I think that's the only story-based game you've ever played.
No, it's not true.
What are you expecting from the new Pixel 3?
Basically what the leaks are saying. Like, I'm expecting one to have a notch, the other one not to have a notch. I'm expecting it to be just having a ridiculously amazing camera. I'm crossing my fingers that the display in it will be significantly better. That's my biggest complaint. So I'm just hoping for basically the stuff that I want that didn't happen the year before.
Some guy named Danny Wing.
Danny Wing.
He says, I don't know. He says he agrees. Traditional laptops are fine.
Danny Wingett.
Is the Surface laptop still a thing?
Buddy, I love you.
Is the Surface laptop still a thing?
Surface laptop is still a thing. I actually love it a lot. It's really light and portable. I definitely think it's a great option for people who want something light.
Good budget phone for gaming.
Good budget phone for gaming. OnePlus 6. Budget flagship. It's a great device. Powerful. Give it to your mom.
Louis says, try Unturned in that laptop. It's a free-to-play game in Steam.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
Let's do it.
Thank you for the suggestion.
iPads are slow, says Adam.
They're not slow. Are you crazy?
Alpha says, do you review smart speakers?
Actually, I'm going to be reviewing a bunch of smart speakers coming up. I have about 3 different brands coming to the studio. We're going to try it out. I don't know how it's going to go, but we're going to try it out.
Thoughts on a butterfly key action lawsuit?
I'm glad Apple spoke out about it. I'm glad they're starting to do something about it. Class action lawsuits are very tricky. They don't usually end up happening anything because lawyers be lawyers. But I'm glad Apple is starting to replace them. How many people are on this thing right now? We gotta close this up.
145.
Okay.
4 minutes, people.
4 minutes.
Will they release a budget Pixel 3?
No, I don't think so.
There's rumors.
I don't think they will.
Rumors.
Would make sense.
If you weren't a YouTuber, what job would you have? Oh, this is gonna be hilarious.
Oh man, garbage man? No, I
Pimp?
don't know. Basket weaver. If I wasn't a YouTuber, what would I do?
I mean, are you gonna tell people about your past life as a pimp?
Ash, come on. This is a family podcast or family stream here. Okay.
We should still show people your cane.
No, let's not. Let's not. Maybe if we do like a live stream after hours, we
All
can
right.
do that. No, if I wasn't doing this, I'd probably be doing either real estate or back in IT, helping someone fix their computer. That's probably what I'd be doing.
So the anonymous chipmunk missed the first bit. So conclusively, which one is the best? The Y530, G7, or the Helios 300?
Based on not
Once
me
and for all, Matt.
Once and
Just
for
tell
all?
people.
Oh, it's hard for me to say because the G7 has some great things going for it. But if I had to pick only one right now, you're putting a gun to my head. I'd pick the Helios 300 right now, hands down. That's just me.
Wheel Deal says, can this run Overwatch? Yes.
Yeah, of course. All of these can. Overwatch is so well optimized. It can run on a 1050 beautifully.
Are you used to phones not having a headphone jack?
I am, but there's times where I need a headphone jack. It's very rare, but I'm used to it, unfortunately.
Is the new Dell XPS 15 2-in-1 weaker than the normal XPS 15? Is your video up?
Yes. What?
Is your video up?
Yeah. So I did a review on the Dell XPS 15 2-in-1. You can find it on my YouTube channel. I gave you guys basically what I think, how fast it is. The AMD Vega that's inside of there is capable. It's pretty equivalent between like a 1050 and a 1050 Ti. So not as powerful as the regular Dell XPS 15 because you get 6 cores with that, but the 2-in-1 gives you 4 cores. So it's like a good jack of all trades, master of none. All right, I think that's it.
No, we still have 2 minutes.
2 minutes?
Okay, quickly.
Okay.
So which app do you use to switch between phones to review?
Which app do I use?
Yeah, do you use any
yeah.
app?
Nova Launcher, and I back up my settings so I can just quickly go through them.
Apart from that, you just log into Google and it logs.
Log into Google, everything downloads, and then Nova Launcher basically reorganizes where I want my apps.
Can this laptop handle almost every AAA game?
At high settings, yes, it can. Actually, no, sorry. The Helios 300 can. This one you're looking at medium to high settings.
Gimmick says, what's the best in a light laptop right now? We've had a couple of shouts for the Huawei MateBook
X. I love
Pro.
that thing. I don't know. There's something about it. I just love it. Very bright screen. It's portable. It's light. Has an MX150 or Gucci.
And
I said Gucci again.
can you stop?
It's the worst word.
Okay, we're going to end this on a comment from Phil Dennis. He says, I think everyone should hit the like button on this live stream.
Dennis, you're the man. I love you, and your mother loves you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Let's do it.
All right. That wraps it up. I'll see you guys in the next live stream. We're going to do some gaming. We're going to do my Discord server. I'm going to give you guys the link. Thank you for being here. Any questions you have, hit me up on the gram. I'll be there. Follow me there as well. Giving away a laptop in the near future, and I will talk to you guys shortly. Have an awesome weekend. This is the awkward part where I have to lean over and click stop. There we go. Wait, I'm still on.